Hi, my name's Andy Devane, and this is a new YouTube channel I'm starting called Let's Learn Web Development. My primary goal with this channel is to help intermediate developers overcome the hurdles into becoming full-stack developers. The reason the channel is called Let's Learn is I also am trying to overcome those hurdles, and I was hoping that we could learn together. The first project we're going to be working on is just going to be a simple Rails application. We're going to be building out a way for users to post updates, and then later we're going to be using devise and can to ensure that any user that's not signed up with an account or is authorized to create posts can create them. So we're going to have basic accounts that can only comment, and then the ones that can create updates will be admins or authors or whatever you want to call them. So let's say we just go ahead and jump right into the code with test-driven development.
I wanna be a stepping stone. It's alright, I think it's cool. Everybody somebody's fool. Everybody somebody's fool. Everybody somebody's fool.
Alright, so to get started with test-driven development, we're going to need to download a few gems. The first gem is rspec. And what rspec does is it allows you to simulate your application being used. This is called a test, and the reason you write a test is so that you can work through how to build out your code and make sure your code is working properly. So the way you use rspec is you first write a test, and this is before you have any code in your application for scaffolds or anything like that. So to start off, you describe what you want a feature to do. Then after that is implemented, after you have written all the code for your test, you go and run your test in the terminal, and it's going to fail, but that's what you want. So after it fails, then it'll give you all the errors that you need to work through one at a time, and you essentially just look at the errors and write the code to get each one passing. So if it's failing, you're going to want to go and work through the first error, and then after that you're going to just continue that process until you have a working feature. So to get started, we're going to go into terminal and we're going to create our first application. So we're going to say Rails new sample app. There we go. And it looks like I already have a sample app, so we're just going to cancel that. Rails new sample app. There we go. Alright, so that finished up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change directory into our sample app. Then we're going to open it up in Sublime. You can search a tutorial for opening up Sublime by using the sublime.dot command. Alright, so let's go to the gem file. And we're going to go down in here into the development test group and just add that gem. So now we need to run bundle install. And one good thing as a developer is being able to go to the docs of a gem and just work through it and understand how to get the gem working. That is something that people will love. Alright, so now we're just going to take this command and we're going to install rspec into the application. Alright, next we're going to need to install Capybara. So Capybara essentially is just for simulating how users behave on a site. So you can simulate a user in your test, and this makes your test much more robust. So again, we're just going to follow the docs and install the gem. So back in the development test group, we're going to add Capybara, and we're going to, as you can see here, if the application you are testing is a Rails app, add this line to your test helper file. So the test helper file is in the test folder at the very bottom. We're just going to plop it right there. Now we can run bundle install again, and Capybara is ready to go. Alright, last but not least, we need to install Factory Girl. We'll get more into Factory Girl later, but right now let's just get the gem installed. So we're going to take this, enter it into the terminal, and then we're going to take this, put it into the gem file in the test development group, and then we're going to run bundle install one more time. Alright, awesome. So now that we got this going, we're going to want to go and we're going to close out this test folder, and we're going to open up this spec folder, and that's where rspec comes in. So let's create a new folder. We're going to call this folder features. And then we're going to create a new file, and we're going to save it as create updates spec.rb. Alright, so I'm just going to add a few comments describing what we want the application to do. So first we're going to want to visit the root route. Then we're going to want to click create update button, or actually link. Then we're going to want to fill in the form with needed information. Then we're going to click the submit button, and then we're going to expect the page to have the content we submitted. And that should be good for now. So let's save that. Alright, so we need to add the Rails helper. So Rails helper.rb, and that's this file right here. So this is a bunch of information that we need from rspec. This is essentially what's going to make rspec work. Alright, next we're going to type feature, because this is the feature that we're creating, and the feature is creating updates. I'm going to say do, and let's go ahead and close our loop. And now we're going to describe a scenario, not a scenario or a scenario. Can create job do end. Alright, so first things first. First things first, we're going to visit the root route. So we're going to say visit the root route. How simple. Now we want to click the create update link. So we're going to say click link new, or actually create update. Okay. So now we're going to fill in the form with the needed information. So we're going to say, oops, fill in title. That's going to be capital T with title. And let's just go ahead and copy this line and say fill in caption with caption. Alright, so now we're going to click the submit button. So we're going to go click button, create, update, and finally we're going to expect the page to have content, title, and again let's just copy this line, caption. So that's what a test looks like, and as you can see, it's not really too far off from the comments that we have. It's very readable, it's very easy to understand, and that's one thing I love about rspec. So now we're going to run over to the terminal, and we're just going to type rspec. And you can see that we're getting our first failure. So we have one example, one failure, and an example is just a feature that you're typing out in the spec folder. So you can see that our error is we have a failure to visit the root route. So let's run over and go into our config, and then we're going to jump into the routes file. And since we're pretty much done with that, let's close these out. So let's start by just saying root is, actually, let's just uncomment this line. Put it right there. And we're going to run it again. And we can see that uninitialized constant welcome controller. So we don't have a welcome controller. So let's just, let's say Rails G controller. That's G for generate. I like shorthands, so welcome. We're going to say index action. And if we run this again, now you can see now we have 4 examples, and that's because it has created some extra files for us in the test. Maybe it's in the spec. Yeah, it's in the spec. Okay, so it's created some extra tests for us that we don't really need. So let's just go ahead and get rid of all of them. And delete. So now we're back just to our original example. We still have one more somewhere. I guess it is in the helper somewhere. Welcome helper. Oh, helpers dot. Okay. So now that we got all those taken care of, We can run this one more time, even though it's not really necessary because it's all right here. But now we're back to just our normal specs. And you can see that there's an error, unable to find link create update. So let's hop on over to our view, jump right in here, and we're just going to say link to create update, and let's say create, or actually wouldn't it be new update path. Alright, so we're going to run that again. And oh, we still have not, no, we did set the root. Okay, so what's going on now is we don't actually have this defined. So let's just go ahead and start out building this feature. So let's say Rails generate scaffold, and this is going to create a bunch more specs, but anyway, we'll go ahead and take care of those. Update, and we're going to say title, string, and caption text. Now let's run rake routes real quick, and this is just going to show us all the routes that we have. And yeah, it is the new update path, just making sure that we're going to the right one. So we should be able to run rspec again and get a different error. Our migrations are pending, so we need to migrate the database. So rake db migrate, and let's run it again. And these are all these crazy files that generating a scaffold creates, which is really annoying, but 0 failures, so you can see that we actually have that test passing now. Let's start the server. Now we can go to localhost 3000, and you can see that it visits the root route just like we described in our create updates. So visit the root route. When you load up localhost 3000, it just goes right to it. Then it says click link create update, and looky there's your link, so you can click that. Then we're going to fill in the title with title and the caption with caption. So title, caption. And we're going to click the button create update, and we expect the page to have title and caption. So everything seems to be working good.
I wanna be your stepping stone.